Hey guys, what's going on? This is the conservative speaking, and I wanted to talk about Antonio Brown getting fired for quitting in the third quarter. He literally quit in the game, um, and and the way that he went about doing that was practically by telling Bruce Arians twice that he was not going into the game. So Bruce Arians told him to hit the shower, get out, and that's exactly what he did. But he didn't do that, but he did it without necessarily making a huge spectacle of it by taking off his shoulder pads and tossing it in the bench, taking off his NFL gloves and throwing it in the crowd, taking off his shirt. I mean, Antonio Brown was really down to his football pants and his cleats and his socks. The man was running around shirtless in a 42 degree weather, prancing around the end zone while the Buccaneers were still in play with the New York Jets before he finally went into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting locker room. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. This will be the fourth team now. This is the fourth team that wanted to have nothing to do with Antonio Brown. This is the fourth team. All right. He was traded by the Steelers and then released by three other teams: the Raiders, the Patriots, and now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Needless to say, his NFL career is over. However, I mean, it still remains to be seen. But I think after burning your bridge with the fourth NFL team that you're on, highly unlikely that any team will want to touch him. I mean, this guy is the Colin Kaepernick of the NFL right now. Amazing, and considering the fact that Antonio Brown is an amazing wide receiver. I mean, he has elite speed to beat any defender that covers him. I mean, he has the hands. I mean, he has the hands to make any type of spectacular catch. I mean, this guy is game. He's game. But he allowed his behavior to overshadow his talents. And now it's just getting to the point right now where teams are not really even are even relicking nor taking his talent into consideration because his behavior outshadows his talent. And whenever that happens, you're considered a liability and not an asset. And what a shame, you know, what a shame to a
Loser
guy that has made several Pro Bowls and can easily make a huge impact on your offense. But this is one of the reasons why patriarchy is very important in a person's young developing life. This is the reason why patriarchy works. All right, because it will give the children discipline and structure, which is something that Antonio Brown significantly lacks. I mean, he struggles, not even struggles. Antonio Brown lacks discipline and structure.
daddy issues.
He didn't have that growing up. He didn't grow up in a structured household. All right. Now, normally I don't cover sports, but whenever a sports story correlates with the current events that greatly impact a specific community, especially the black community, I feel it's something that needs to be spoken about. And we don't speak about this enough. But in Antonio Brown, I think especially in the later years of his career has been really more of a train wreck. And his legacy will be remembered that of a train wreck, a guy that had a lot of talent but couldn't behave long enough to allow his talents to flourish. And that's what he's going to be remembered for, and it's a shame. But Antonio Brown grew up with unmarried parents. He is the father of a legendary arena football player, Eddie Brown, and his mother is uh, Adriana Moss, or not Adrian, or Adrian Moss. All right. What's the similarity? Neither parent was married. So this bastard child was brought into the world with no discipline, no structure. The father wasn't there, and Antonio Brown had had I mean was practically brought up by his mother. And you can tell with the way that Antonio Brown behaves. The fact that Antonio Brown has is impatient. The fact that he has outbursts and tantrums like a child. He has those same temperaments of a woman. You know, because women tend to raise their children with emotion as opposed to logic, and they take their emotions out on the children. Therefore, it weakens the children. They really traumatize the children, and therefore, it makes the children a lot more emotional than normal, especially young men. And the young men that are raised by their mothers, they tend to take on the identity of their mothers. And this is the reason why they cannot function in society. You know, they're the reason why they overreact towards everything. If you say something wrong, they're ready to fight you over a simple debate. Well, but this is the type of person that Antonio Brown is, and it was due to his upbringing. And it's amazing that this guy, who was born in 1988 in Miami, Florida, to unmarried parents, became the way that he did. But a lot of it is due, again, to his upbringing. At the age of 12, his mother then remarries, and then at the age of 16, he gets kicked out of his mother's house because his mother chose her new husband over him. She kicked him out of the house because it's not necessarily about what the child wants. Oh no, it's not about what her son wants. It's about what she wants. All right? Psychologically, that damaged Antonio Brown. All right? Bad enough that he's living in an unstructured household where he will learn the proper interaction between a husband and a wife. But now he's being picked over by a stranger that Antonio Brown couldn't get along with, and rightfully so. I mean, that's his stepfather. It's not his real biological father. Why would Antonio Brown respect that? So psychologically, that damaged him. All right, and that would play a major impact in the way that Antonio Brown would interact then with other people. Considering the fact that he was 16 and he had to live with other friends, and he even had to live he even had to live in a car and in cheap motels, doing whatever he could to survive. All right, then he winds up getting then he winds up becoming a really good football player at his local high school, and he actually had an opportunity to go to attend Florida State, but he couldn't cut it because of academic reasons. So he had to go to North Carolina Tech. All right, and then while he was at North Carolina Tech and played at North Carolina Tech, he was good enough to get a scholarship at FIU, but then he gets into a physical dispute, and because of that, the scholarship was withdrawn. However, he had one last chance, and that was with someone that he happened to play with at the high school, who then was able to get him into Central Michigan, and that's where he was able to get in as a walk on, and the rest was history. His talent allowed him to flourish at that school. In his third year, he then decides to enter the draft in 2010, and he was picked in the 6th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in 2011, he winds up starting, and then from 2011 to 2017, he just has a breakout year. 2017, he gets rewarded with a 4-year, $58 million contract. 19 million guaranteed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But because of Antonio Brown's tactics, because of his behavior, 2 years after he signs that contract, he gets traded to the Oakland Raiders. All right. And then in the Oakland Raiders, they wind up restructuring his contract, and they sign him. Hold on 1 second. I'll be able to tell you in a minute. He winds up signing. Hold on 1 second. He winds up signing see if I can see it. Here we are. Okay. So he winds up signing a 3-year, $50 million contract. 3 years, $50 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. And he was really supposed to be the focal point of that Raider offense, along with Derek Carr. A guy that can definitely throw it deep. But Antonio Brown, with his tactics, with him not doing the things that he was supposed to do, finds a way to be released from the team that really gave him a sweet deal. He winds up paying more than $50,000 in fines. He gets into an argument with the GM, calling him a cracker, and he practically just played his way out of the Oakland Raiders without even playing a single snap. Then he signs with the New England Patriots, one year, $9 million contract along with incentives, and Antonio Brown lasted 1 game, and it was the one game where he played very well along with Tom Brady, and I remember that game. It was against the Miami Dolphins. But once again, he sees himself ousted from the New England Patriots because of not just the sexual allegations, because sexual allegations, they are what they are. They'll allow you to play while as long as they don't find any evidence that you committed what was being alleged. It wasn't even the fact that Antonio Brown was released because of the allegations of sexual assault. It was what he did while he was being alleged sexual assault by these victims. He was sending intimidating text messages, even though he was ordered not to have any contact with his victims. All right? Did that stop Antonio Brown from doing the right thing? Absolutely not. This is a guy that is entitled, and he's going to do whatever he wants to do at any time. And he did it, and it cost him. And the Patriots said bye-bye. The Patriots wanted to keep him. They knew he was a deep threat. But in the end, when you don't listen, these are the things that happen. So he winds up getting released by the Patriots, and he's practically out at this point for a whole year. Now, keep in mind, all this happened in 2019. All right. Then in 2020, all right, just before the beginning of the season in 2020, he gets signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the reason why he was signed basically was because Tom Brady wanted him on that team, even though Bruce Arians didn't want him at all. And Bruce Arians gave Antonio Brown an ultimatum that if you screw up one single time, you will be ousted from the team. All right. Bruce Arians will wind up going back on his word because Antonio Brown was suspended for 3 games for displaying a fake vaccination card. All right. Something that is considered a federal offense. People have been arrested for doing such a thing, and all Antonio Brown gets is a 3-game suspension. He doesn't even get arrested. I mean, forget playing football. This man should be in jail. But he gets suspended for 3 games for displaying a fake vaccination card, and then he comes back against the Panthers, and then we come to this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New York Jets, in which Antonio Brown was told twice by Bruce Arians to come into the game. He refused. Arians tells him to hit the shower and tells him, get out, you're done. And at that point, that's when Antonio Brown goes out, but he made sure that he had to go out in a loud fashion. And I think Antonio Brown may have realized that this is it. So he goes in, he takes off his shoulder pads, takes off his gloves, throws them in the crowd, takes off his wife beater, throws it into the crowd, prancing around the end zone. And this is all while the Buccaneers are still trying to play the game. The Buccaneers offense is still on the field. You know, throwing the peace sign to the crowd before trotting into the Buccaneers visiting locker room. And it's just another sad state in Antonio Brown's life. Antonio Brown has this sense of entitlement where he feels that he should be able to do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it. Excuse me. And it's that reason, and this is the reason why he sees himself out of a NFL team despite his talent. That says a lot. You know, Antonio Brown reminds me of Randy Moss. You know, Randy Moss had that same type of mentality. Guys that think that they're too good for the team. Guys that have a me first rather than a we first mentality. Randy Moss had the I'll play when I feel like it mentality. How do I know this? He said it out of his mouth. He plays hard whenever he feels like it. Okay? And that's the same type of mentality that Antonio Brown is on. He plays whenever he feels like it. Okay? And the fact that people are pandering to it, the fact that people are protecting him and coddling him for it, it's not helping him. It's only going to hurt him. Okay? Now, let's go to the violations, shall we? I will tell you why Antonio Brown, despite his despite the talent that he possesses as a wide receiver, why he is why he is a liability, and for any NFL team that signs him, buyer beware. You will get exactly what you deserve. So, during and before the 2018 season, Brown was embroiled in numerous incidents in addition to causing tension within the Steelers organization. This includes tossing furniture out of his 14th floor apartment window in April, nearly hitting a 22-month-old on the patio below, and getting cited for speeding in excess of 100 miles per hour along a suburban Pittsburgh highway. Brown was later sued for the April incident and reached a settlement with the family of the child in April of 2019. In February of 2019, a judge ruled him guilty of reckless driving in the speeding incident, and Brown received the fine. On September 10th, 2019, Brown's former trainer, Brittany Taylor, filed a lawsuit alleging he sexually assaulted her on 3 occasions. Keep that in mind. She claimed that he exposed himself to her, ejaculated on her back, and raped her. Okay, before we go any further, I just have to say that any woman that accuses a man of rape and yet has 3 sexual encounters with this man, that is not considered rape. It is considered consensual. All right, let me repeat that again. Any woman who accuses a man of rape and yet has more than 1 sexual encounter with this man, at that point, it is not considered rape. It is considered consensual. All right, because all it takes is 1 incident, and any woman that has a known sense of awareness of the situation that she's in knows that it only takes 1 incident of rape to not only have anything to do with that man, nor have any contact with that man, but to report the incident to the proper authorities, which she did not do. Which is the reason why, as you will see as I will continue to read, that Antonio Brown was not charged for the incident, because the incident doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you claim that you were raped, then why would you keep going to the same person who raped you? Amazing. So, Brown and his legal team denied the allegations. On September 18th, the Allegheny County District Attorney's Office announced Brown would not be prosecuted because Taylor's accusations were outside the statute of limitations. The civil suit continued. On September 16th, a second woman accused him of sexual misconduct. Separately, Victor Prisk, a Pittsburgh-based doctor who Brown worked with while with the Steelers, also sued Brown for $11,500 in unpaid fees. Gotta pay your bill, Antonio. A settlement between Brown and Taylor was agreed upon in April of 2021. On January 13, 2020, following several domestic incidents in which police were called to Brown's home in Hollywood, Florida, the Hollywood Police Department stated they no longer wanted Brown to be associated with their youth league, PAL. The Hollywood Police Department returned a check from Brown and issued a trespass order preventing him from being involved with their youth league while saying in a statement, "We do not want him to affect our youth or influence them in a negative way." And I believe the several domestic incidents was with the mother of his children. And we all know that any type of domestic violence or any type of domestic issue that involves a mother and a father will greatly impact the children. Remember, when a mother and a father chooses to fight along with the children, when the children are there, the children are watching. They're watching, they're processing, and they will emulate because they're only going to do whatever they learn. Days later, on January 21st, it was reported that Brown and an accomplice had attacked a moving truck driver while on Brown's premise. All right, while on Brown's home. All right, so Antonio Brown and an accomplice attacked a moving truck driver while on Brown's property. Glenn Holt, working as Brown's trainer, was arrested while a warrant for Brown's arrest was issued a day later with a felony charge of battery and burglary. He turned himself in a night. I mean, he turned himself in a. Oh, he turned himself in at night later on January 23rd. Brown was officially charged with felony burglary of a vehicle, misdemeanor battery, and misdemeanor criminal mischief on March 20th, 2020. On June 12th, 2020, Brown pleaded no contest to the felony battery and burglary charges and received 2 years of probation. Amazing. The man was charged with felony battery and burglary, and he received probation. You know, Antonio Brown had one heck of a lawyer to get him that type of deal. Any other person that's even convicted of something like that, or even if they were to get a plea deal, I don't think the plea deal would be as sweet as that. They'll have to spend some time in prison, especially for felony battery. No way that you can that you can admit to felony battery and you don't spend time in prison. He was also ordered to undergo 100 hours of community service, a 13-week anger management counseling program, and a psychological evaluation. That is Antonio Brown in a nutshell. And this is the reason why teams are not going to want to sign him. Because considering Antonio Brown was given large contracts, big contracts, and he was released from every single contract. Pittsburgh wanted to get rid of him. They got rid of him. Oakland got rid of him before he could play one snap with that team. New England got rid of him after one game. And Tampa Bay got rid of him after one season. It's amazing. Antonio Brown and Tom Brady released a statement stating that Antonio Brown needs help. Tom, nobody can help that man. All right? There's not a single person that can help Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown will have to help himself. All right? I mean, everyone knows, yeah, clearly you can see that he needs help, but he's the one that has to go out and seek the help. And the best way that he can do it is he needs to get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is he has not overcame his mother. He needs to forgive his mother so that he can return to the Father, so that he can return to the fatherly state. All right? Which is that of poise, which is that of logic and not of emotion. Antonio Brown allows his life to be ruled by emotion and not by any type of logic. He needs to forgive his mother. And once he forgives his mother, he'll be able to overcome the mother. He'll be able to overcome his mother and then return to the Father. That's what he needs most. But I think I've gone over. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section after you subscribe to my channel. Smash the like button if you like this video. I know it was a bit long, but I had to be a little detail orientated with this video. Share the video and subscribe to my channel, as I will be able to provide content on the double. All right, and when you subscribe to my channel, please click on the notification button so that you will be notified when my channel will be dropping the latest content. And with that being said, this is The Conservative signing out. Have a blessed day. Happy New Year.